Hello friends, and welcome to another edition of Bronco Sports Weekly. I'm Sean Fagan. A little bit later on the program, we'll have Chase Ballasy from the men's hockey team joining us for an interview. But before that, let's take a look at the results from the past week. The men's hockey team opened up its 2011-12 schedule with a pair of home wins over Alabama Huntsville, beating the Chargers 7-1 on Friday and 4-0 on Saturday at Lawson Arena. Shane Birschbach contributed a team-high 3 goals over the course of 2 games, and Chase Ballasy had 1 goal and 4 assists. Frank Slabowski was in net for the shutout on Saturday, turning away 10 shots. The football team posted its second consecutive win on Saturday, drubbing the Bowling Green Falcons 45-21 at the 88th annual homecoming game held at Waldo Stadium. Alex Carter had 3 touchdown passes, 2 of which were to Jordan White, and ran for another, and the Broncos had their best rushing day in the Bill Cubitt era, rolling up 351 yards on the ground. Tevin Drake was the leading rusher with 112 yards. Cross country competed at the Michigan Intercollegiates race hosted by Hillsdale College, finishing second overall with 35 points behind just Michigan State. Amber Brunmeyer completed the 5K in 18:47, which was good for third overall, and Rachel Whitney, Liza Boudreau, and Jerisha Tucker all finished in the top 10. Women's soccer split a pair of road MAC games last week, beating Kent State 2-0 on Friday and falling 3-2 to Buffalo on Sunday. Broncos got goals from Stephanie Skineski and Diana Davukai, and a sterling 7-save performance from Michelle Watson in the win over Kent State. Skineski's goal against the Golden Flashes tied the program record for career goals. Men's soccer had a great week on the road, defeating Michigan for the first time in program history on Wednesday. Tied 1-1 late in the game, Kyle Ferris took a pass from Kai Mendez and stuffed it in the left corner for the game-winning goal at 80-25. Matt Morrell made 5 saves. Ferris would add another goal in the Broncos' 1-1 tie against Florida Atlantic on Saturday. Volleyball split a pair of MAC matches this past weekend, losing 3-0 to Northern Illinois on Thursday before rebounding with a 3-1 win over Bowling Green on Saturday. The win on Saturday was the 150th head coaching victory of Colleen Munson's career while at Western Michigan. Allie Gosen had her best match of the year on Saturday, recording 15 kills. And now let's take a look at some of the highlights from this weekend's action. It was a hockey night in Kalamazoo. The Lawson Lunatics out in full force as the Broncos hosted the Alabama Huntsville Chargers in the first. Power play goal from Dan DeKaiser, shooting from the point. Good screen in front of the net from Kessel. Later in the first period, Shane Birschbach in the corner. And he's going to find Matt Tennyson. He rips it for his second goal of the game. The Broncos would roll in this one by a final score of 7-1. That 7th goal coming in the third period. David Killip in the slot. He's going to punch it in for his first career collegiate goal. On his first career collegiate game, the Broncos would defeat the Chargers 7-1. Homecoming weekend for football as they host Bowling Green in the 88th annual homecoming game. First drive, Alex Carter going to punch it in from 1 yard out to give the Broncos a 7-0 lead. He would have 95 rushing yards on the day, believed to be a school record for a quarterback. Bowling Green would tie it up. But then one drive later, Tevin Drake, he's going to bounce off right tackle from 12 yards out. He had 112 rushing yards of the day. The Broncos racked up 351 on the ground. The Broncos led 14-7. The Falcons would tie it up again, but WMU responded. Chris Prom with his first career touchdown reception, taking that one in the corner, giving the Broncos the 21-14 lead. The Broncos would open up the lead in the second half. That one, put that on YouTube. Carter to White. His second of the game, the Broncos won 45-21. Back to pucks now, where the Broncos hosting Alabama Huntsville again on Saturday night. Chase Ballasy wins the offensive zone draw, goes to the front of the net. Dan DeKaiser shoots. Ballasy would get the tip, and the Broncos would lead 1-0. Later, Ballasy driving hard to the net, gets his own rebound. He finds Birschbach in front. It's Birschbach's third goal of the season, and the Broncos lead 2-0. Derek Rule with some fancy stick handling to the front. Kyle O'Kane with the shot and the goal. The Broncos would shut out the Alabama Huntsville Chargers by a score of 4-0. They will take on Union on the road later this weekend. I am now joined by a sophomore from the Western Michigan men's hockey team, born in California but made his way to the frozen north here in Michigan. He played in all 42 games for the Broncos last season, recorded 30 points, and has 5 points so far in 2 games. I'm, of course, talking about Chase Ballasy. Chase, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, first off, let's talk about that great start that you guys have had to the season. 2 wins against Alabama Huntsville, a 7-1 win on Friday, and then a 4-0 win on Saturday. And you jumped on the Chargers really early, quick goals in both games.
Yeah, I think that was our focus. We wanted to get off to a good start. I mean, I wanted to carry the momentum on from last year that we ended off with, and I think we did that this weekend.
Is that one of the philosophies that Coach Murray has installed now, that he wants to get everybody off to a fast start, lots of energy, or is that something that's carried over from Coach Blashill?
I think it's a little carryover, but Coach Murray is really stressing he wants us to play an up-tempo game, real fast-paced. So, just getting up and down the ice and getting on him right was key this weekend.
And, you look at the defensive effort that the team had this week. You held the Chargers to just 21 shots in both games. You got the shutout on Sunday. So offensively, you guys put a lot of emphasis on starting quick, but what kind of emphasis was put on defensive responsibility?
Yeah, I think defense Murray has challenged us both games. He told us in the third period going into the first game, he said, don't give up more than 4 shots. We didn't give up a shot. So I think it's him challenging us as well as our defensemen, just moving the puck up the ice right away. They're not really stick handling. It's just getting up to the forwards, and the forwards are getting it right in. They're not getting any chances.
All right, now, how important was it to get that first win under the belt of Coach Murray? He obviously came into this season with a lot of expectations, former NHL head coach, but he came in and, you guys had to try to provide that spark for him.
Yeah, I think he was probably as excited as the players were going into the first game. You could tell in his voice and the way he talked to us in the dressing room. But, yeah, I mean, that was important. He wanted to get us first win. We wanted to get him our first win. And, getting 2 wins this weekend was huge for us.
Was it intimidating in preseason or heading into that first game with the former NHL head coach?
I think first couple weeks of practice it was a little intimidating because you know that he's there watching you, and it's an NHL coach that coached for 10 years watching you, so it's pretty intimidating. But he's a pretty easygoing guy, and we got to know him pretty well.
Now, last year, the expectations heading into the season were much different than the expectations heading into this season. Obviously, you guys were picked to be ranked in several publications, and you're really expected to be a force in the CCHA. You can't play the no one believed in us card anymore. So have you sensed a difference in attitude? Is there less of a chip on the shoulder of the team, or are you guys finding new ways to motivate yourselves?
I think Coach Murray's always motivating us for sure. Just defensively, offensively, he motivates us. But I think we want to win. We expect to win going into games now, and not in a cocky way, but we expect that if we play our game, we know we have a shot to win every night. So
it's that good, healthy confidence going in when you step over the boards. You know that you're going to have talent at least equal to, or if not better than, the teams you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. I think Blash kind of brought that to us last year. He told us, if we just play our game, we're fine. And this year, with some added depth and our defense and goaltending being what they are, I think going into every game, if we just play the way we can, we have a shot.
Is it a mental thing, or is it a physical thing? Is it just a matter of going over and saying, okay, well, we know we're going to, if we take care of business, how important is that as compared to just the physical talent?
I think it's almost equally as important. I think mentally, knowing that if you do, everyone on the team does their job, that you guys have a great chance of winning. I think that's really important, just knowing that you're not hoping for the other team to play bad. If we just play our game, we'll be fine.
Now, you've got Union this week, and Union was picked to finish ahead of you guys in most publications. Dutchmen have a good team. They beat Army this past weekend, but this is really their first home test of the year. What are we going to see from Union?
We played them last year. We swept them last year at our home rink, but I know their power play last year was running at like 35%, which is pretty crazy. But so our penalty kill is going to have to be on. We can't take too many penalties, and they got a lot of scorers on their team for sure. Last year they had a bunch of guys put up like 30, 40 points, which is we're going to have to slow them down for sure.
Okay, well, let's lighten the conversation a little bit. You told me before that you're from Rancho Santa Margarita, which is not exactly the hotbed of hockey, one would assume it to be. But how did you get into hockey?
My dad actually played growing up in Toronto. He moved down to California, and just being from Toronto, I guess hockey's the main sport up there, and he got me started skating when I was 2 and playing like little junior leagues when I was about 4 or 5. So.
Did you have the old black and silver Kings jersey going on?
No, I didn't. My dad was a Leaf fan growing up, so I had Toronto Maple Leafs growing up all the way.
Didn't get to grow the Barry Melrose mullet when you were a kid?
No, not at all.
All right, well, hey, good luck against Union this week, and all the best.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, folks, 5 things to watch this week. Number 5, women's golf in the process of hosting the preview at Hawthorne's Golf and Country Club in Fishers, Indiana. The course will be the site of the 2012 MAC Championships, and this weekend will feature 89 golfers from 14 teams playing 36 holes. Results will be posted each evening on WMUBroncos.com. Number 4, men's tennis with a big regional competition this weekend as they travel to Columbus to compete in the ITA Midwest Regional. 13 teams will be participating from the region, including schools from the MAC, Big Ten, and Horizon Leagues. Also with a little non-conference competition this week, men's soccer. They'll travel to IUPUI later this week. They'll come back for a conference match against Buffalo on Sunday. Number 3, women's soccer hosting their in-state MAC rivals when they host Central Michigan on Friday and Eastern Michigan on Sunday. Game against Central, a really big one, as the Chippewas are undefeated in MAC play thus far. Also with 2 MAC competitions this week is women's volleyball, who will travel to face Akron and Buffalo on Friday and Saturday, respectively. Number 2, football faces a tough road test when they go to DeKalb to take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. Game time scheduled for 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. The Broncos, currently first in the MAC West with a 2-0 record against MAC opponents, and are tied for the best overall record in the conference with a 4-2 mark. And number 1, hockey hits the road for a 2-game swing in upstate New York as the Broncos get set to take on Union. Broncos started the season 2-0, but entering the season trailed the Dutchmen in the rankings. We'll see if the Broncos can right that ship on Friday and Saturday. And that's going to do it for us on the Bronco Sports Weekly. We thank you for joining us, and join us again next week. Same Bronco time, same Bronco place.
I'm Ian Slater, a senior right wing on the Western Michigan hockey team and a communications major. Really never sank in to know how important it is to play at the Joe, to be a Michigan-born player and have the opportunity to compete in the championship game. I really didn't know how big of a deal that was until we got to the ceremonies, and it kind of, everything settled in, and it really was something I will never forget. I'm a Bronco, and I am the power of gold.